So, coming from a rather misty Cirencester this morning, but it's still relatively warm, which is interesting. But anyway, this morning I am wearing a new colour, and that's the point of this video. So, before I tell you about that colour, let's just introduce you to the other one so we put it all into context. So we've got the 3 green behaviours: thinking, communicating and improving. Those are the things, if you and your people have them in your diary in the right proportion, will take you, your organisation and your people upwards, make things better, because they're the essence of leading, and that's what leaders do. Then we've got the 2 amber behaviours: monitoring and directing. Now those are the things that keep things in balance, maintain status quo, manage risk, stop things from going backwards, because they're the essence of managing, and that's partly of about what managers do. Then there's red, doing, that's productivity, getting stuff done. And then there's another colour which we'll talk about in a second, but then finally there is blue, and blue is living. Living is about looking after your physical, spiritual, mental and emotional well-being. This is about looking after yourself outside of work so that you can bring the best of yourself to work. So up until recently, there would have been one other colour in that roundup there, and it's changed. So up until today, the other colour would have been brown, and brown was for floating. And of course the joke was that brown stuff that floats is waste. But what's interesting is that when I was running through that colour within Diary Detox Discoveries, sometimes I'd have to roll that back a little bit, because I'd have to then sometimes say, well, just because it's showing in your diary as brown doesn't necessarily mean that it is waste. It could just mean that you're not sure what value it's adding. And that's a really important distinction, yeah? Floating isn't just about wasting time. It's also about not being sure what time or what value you're adding, or whether you're wasting time. So, of course, when a meeting comes through from somebody else with an agenda item that says TBC, at that point, you have no idea whether this is going to add value, whether this is a worthwhile meeting. And so at that point, it immediately should go grey, because it's a grey area. Okay, so what we wanted to do is take some of the judgment out of something being brown and make it a little bit softer to basically get you to question. Okay, it's still a colour, but it's a somewhat wishy-washy colour. I don't really know what value. Grey. What does that mean? What does that mean? And that's the point. Okay, so as of today, floating is grey, and grey is about potentially losing time, losing productivity, or not being sure what value you're adding. So if you've been using the Diary Detox add-in for Outlook completely free of charge, go to your Outlook add-in store and grab it for free. You'll see that floating is grey. The videos from now on will show floating as grey. We'll have a new hashtag, grey behaviour. The book is in the process of being rewritten, because it's second edition for a number of different reasons, but this is obviously going to be one of them. And the app is in the process of being changed. I'm expecting that to be released within the next week. Okay, so you will see that change going forward. But I just wanted to announce that to everybody, because you're going to wonder, why on earth am I seeing a different colour? Now, this is going to be slightly difficult for me, because in my life I would very, very rarely wear the colour brown, other than for floating as it previously was. One of the difficulties I'm now going to have is that grey is actually one of my favourite colours to wear. So if you see me out and about wearing grey, it doesn't mean to say that. But if you do see me in a video, or if you see me in a meeting wearing grey, that's exactly what it means. It means I'm currently floating, and of course you'll probably never see me wear that in a meeting, because I won't turn up to that meeting in the first place. So that's it. Love to hear your comments below, and if you have any questions, get in touch. In the meantime, have a great day, have a great week.